Hey everybody, welcome to my office. I'm author and historian Jason McKinstry, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my new book, Paper Empires, and I'm here to show you a little bit of my playing card collection, which is the inspiration behind Paper Empires. I've had a lot of offices throughout the years. This is by far the smallest. I know you can't see that right now, but this is a little tiny room that I'm standing in. A lot of playing cards in here, but I like how close I am to everything. I can touch it. I can see it in an instant if I need to make a reference to anything. My antique playing card collection has grown substantially over the years, and I'm getting close to my original goal of owning one of every deck ever manufactured by some of playing cards' earliest manufacturers. But really, the collecting of the playing cards was just the beginning of the story. Really, what fascinates me is the history behind the playing cards, which is what Paper Empires is all about. So let me take you through some of the early makers here. This is L.I. Cohen up here. Okay, he's the forefather of playing cards, basically because in 1835 he invented a four-color printing press that could make all of these wonderful designs possible. Before that, playing cards were basically made with wood blocks and stencils, and they were hand colored and whatnot. So his invention really changed the game of playing cards. Anyway, there he is there, L.I. Cohen in there, John J. Levy, nephew of L.I. Cohen, Lawrence and Cohen right here in this area here. That was L.I. Cohen's son and his business partner. Over here we have Samuel Hart. So Samuel Hart has a very interesting story. I mean, basically, his cards were all over the Wild West. So if you walked into a saloon in 1860, more than likely you were going to be playing with Samuel Hart playing cards. So it makes him one of the most interesting manufacturers of all. I take a deck of cards like this as Samuel Hart Pharaoh deck from about 1868, and I can imagine what these playing cards have been through over the years. I can take them, I can feel them. They're thick and they're made of dense, thick paper with square edges, full quartz, and I can smell them and get a real sense of the history behind the playing cards. Like, whose were these? Did these belong to, were these Wyatt Earps? Were they, were they Ulysses S. Grants? I mean, the historical possibilities are endless with antique playing cards, basically. Sometimes we know who they come from, a lot of times we don't, but we do know every time that there's history surrounded. In this section here, we have the New York Consolidated Card Company a little bit up here as well. This family effort of playing card manufacturers culminated into the New York Consolidated Card Company. These guys all joined forces and got together to make these cards. The reason is that they were in stiff competition with this gentleman down here, Andrew Doherty. Okay, Andrew Doherty was like the Steve Jobs of his time. Okay, in 1860 to 1890, he was a tough guy. If you were competing in the playing card world, you were competing against Andrew Doherty. He was completely self-made. He was an Irish immigrant, and things weren't all that easy for Irish immigrants in that time. So you can imagine what a success story this is. To have him make such beautiful cards and be able to take on an entire industry, basically single-handedly. Welcome to the other side of my office. This is where I keep my United States Playing Card Company decks of cards. You'll probably be most familiar with the United States Playing Card Company currently because they're the manufacturers of bicycle playing cards. So as you can see, they've got a long and illustrious history. Starting in 1881, they started manufacturing cards. Russell & Morgan actually started off as a folding box and show card label company, believe it or not, and they saw the opportunity in the playing cards. So again, starting in 1881, you've got some sportsman decks, bicycle decks, some Army-Navy decks, Capital playing cards. They were always political themed or adventure themed playing cards at that time. They were really trying to get playing cards into different niches, Down here in this section here, we move into a little bit later, so you're talking 1890s to around the turn of the century. Some nice advertising cards, again, right around the turn of the century here. But as you move down my cabinet, the date increases. So you start here at 1881 and you end up down there at around 1925 to 1930. The important thing about the USPC is that they ended up buying all the other playing card companies. So, like I said, they started in 1881, but they quickly began to purchase all the other cards. They were able to buy a national playing card company. They were able to get their hands on the New York Consolidated Playing Card Company. They were also able to purchase Andrew Doherty in the end, ultimately, even though Andrew Doherty swore he would never sell to them. So ultimately, these guys really did own it all, and they made beautiful playing cards, and they still do make very, very nice playing cards today. What's Paper Empires all about? Well, Paper Empires is about bringing history and playing cards back together. Okay, we've been collecting the playing cards for a really long time, and you know they've been fascinating, but really there's a fantastic story that's missing from collecting playing cards, and that's what I'm trying to fill with Paper Empires. I'm trying to give people the lives and businesses of these fantastic and ingenious men, and at the same time I'm trying to show the artistic beauty behind playing cards. Okay, playing cards are very relevant, and they're relevant because they're a part of every single American story. I mean, I look back at all the movies that I've ever seen about the Wild West or about anything in the subject of America, and resoundingly there are always playing cards at the heart of the story. It started to bother me that we had no idea where these came from. Maybe that we didn't have any idea where they came from, but that we didn't know the story behind them. Why aren't playing cards popular like say other fantastic U.S. success stories like the Coca-Cola bottling company or or any of the gun manufacturers like Smith and Wesson or Henry Ford? Playing cards have a deeper story, and they're more connected to American history than any of those are, because really playing cards were with the colonists when they came here. And then once the Revolutionary War was over, America was on its own to make its own playing cards then, and that's what they did. So Paper Empires really tells this story, and it's done in a fun and easy to understand way, and it gives you a complete picture of how incredible all of these companies really were and how important they were to American history. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've enjoyed making it, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks.